Vanna from Love Island, unfortunately, is living proof that we are living through a crisis, a culture of instant, unquestioned, oppressive, and highly dangerous sources of validation.
Love Island has been huge recently. Even if you don't watch it, you've probably seen it on your For You page at one point or another. Especially after last season, which was arguably the best reality TV season of the show. That season was super successful and it basically catapulted the whole entire franchise, even though it's been a very huge franchise to begin with. And with that increase in popularity, there has definitely been a specific type of person casted on Love Island. And by the way, there is definitely an imbalance between the standard of beauty for the men versus the women, with many of the women on the show, especially as of lately, having some sort of cosmetic enhancement. More than a few. Pause. A lot of people have even been comparing this season to the first season's cast of Love Island, and basically saying that if you were to put the people on the first season of Love Island in the villa as like a bombshell or something, they would get ridiculed because of the standard that's set by the show now.
All you need to do a mini case study on how rapidly our beauty standard is changing is look at the Love Island USA casts from season 1 to now. I'm not saying anybody from season 1 was unattractive, but if you put 3 of them as the bombshells on tonight, this app would be in an uproar and not a positive one. Like, for the guys, I feel the change is mostly in their body. The season 1 guys obviously all are fit and take care of themselves, but now it's like almost all of them are jacked. Like, they're not just healthy, they're very muscular. And for the women, plastic is the standard now. Season 1, there was definitely one girl who had some lip filler. Maybe there was some other work that I didn't really notice. This season, damn near every girl walked in with something done to her face. And as far as I know, the oldest is 27. That's a little bit insane. Also, season 1, obviously all the girls take care of their bodies, but this season, it's like you have to have boobs and an ass and a tiny waist. Like, I feel like we're condensing what being attractive is to how many traits you can cross off, how many stereotypically attractive traits you can cross off. And that is just not what beauty is. Like, the existence of a trait that is not considered stereotypically attractive does not negate the beauty that is already there. Like, I think one of Huda's most adorable qualities is her teeth. Like, they're so cute, they fit her face, and they're actually one of the things that distinguishes her from the other women, and I love that. We're just losing everything that makes people uniquely pretty. Also, it has everything to do with the camera quality getting insane. Like, when you look at season 1 camera quality, that's really all we need. That's really as detailed as we need. Now you can see absolutely like, Nick had one single blemish, and I saw more than one TikTok about it. Yeah, I'd get some work done to my face too before I went on Love Island.
And a lot of people think that that comes from the amount of work that most people have gotten done on the show. So of course, with this season, that's no exception. And there are definitely the fair share of girlies who have cosmetic enhancements, but there is one that has recently left the villa but has not left the topic of the internet, who particularly stood out, which was the contestant named Vanna. So this conversation is just blowing up everywhere, and I definitely have a lot of 2 cents to add to this conversation. So I thought, what better opportunity to do another unfiltered get. So yeah, if you're new here, hi guys, welcome to Boss Girlified. It is your girl Tima, and this is what we do. We chit chat, chop it up a little bit while I get ready and do my makeup with you girlies. And also, if you guys are curious about any of the products that I'm using for my makeup, they will be somewhere in the video. You just gotta keep an eye out. This is Vanna, and she is a 21-year-old. Yes, 21-year-old. Golfer and social media influencer from Utah. We all have eyes, okay? I don't need to tell you guys why this girl stands out. So, as I mentioned before, social media has been blowing up about this girl, Vanna, even though she was a temporary contestant. She came in the show for Casa Amor, which if you don't watch Love Island, if you're not a Love Island watcher, Casa Amor is basically like this test that they put the Islanders through. So they'll basically split up the boys and the girls, send one of the groups, this time it was the girls, to a separate house to explore other connections and see if they find a stronger connection than the one they found in the original house. Vanna came in as a Casa Amor girl. She was one of the girls who was, you know, trying to explore connections with the OG guys in the villa. And immediately when she came on screen, definitely very very noticeable that she has had a lot of work done, particularly filler. Oof, guys, my brows look insane right now, but you really gotta trust the process because I switch up how I do my brows like so often, but I have this new method, okay? So it's definitely one of those trust the process. Definitely a trust the process situation. Based on what I can see as a fellow beauty girly, it seems like Vanna has at least a few syringes of filler, probably a little more than a few, in her chin, her cheeks, her lips. It looks like she has some Botox probably in the forehead area. Don't get me wrong, okay? Listen, I love to give credit where it's due. Even if she got work done on her body, hey, her body is incredibly tea. It is definitely very concerning and sad to see how much this young lady has gotten done at the young age of 21. But before we move any further into this discussion, I want to make it very, very clear that we are talking about someone's appearance, okay? And I think whenever that is the case, it can be a very slippery slope, and I think we need to approach conversations like this with empathy for more than one reason. Yes, she chose to fill her face, right? That's the biggest justification when people are responding to videos basically criticizing people for bullying her. They're like, well, she chose to do this to her face, she chose to do this to herself, so therefore the ridicule can't be that frowned upon. My whole issue with that argument though is that people choose to do things to themselves that other people would find ridiculous all the time, not limited to cosmetic enhancements, due to some type of dysmorphia, which is why I really think that this conversation needs to be approached with a lot more empathy than it is being had in. And it's always been something that I found very odd, the way that people will just like jump to bully somebody about plastic surgery.
I do not condone the way that people are talking about Vanna online. Number one, because she's 21. She's very young and she has emotions and feelings like all of us. But beyond that, because I don't think that insulting her and shaming her is as productive as people want it to be. Because we have to ask ourselves why she looks that way rather than how we feel about the way she looks.
It's one of those things where it's like, we wouldn't pick on someone who struggles with an ED for being thin, right? And I know that they're not the same thing, they're completely unique situations, but it is just really interesting that this is coming from a place of someone not thinking that they're beautiful enough to the point where they feel like they have to completely fill every single part of their face to feel beautiful, to feel like the standard of beauty. So let's please be kind and respectful and aware in the comments, because this is a human being at the end of the day. And I think that in this era of social media, we've gotten way too comfortable talking about people's appearances, especially in a negative way. However, with that being said, this whole controversy and this young girl coming on reality TV with no filters, no editing, in her natural form, with the work that she's got done being on full display for all of America to see, has opened up the floodgates to a really important conversation that needs to be had. And this conversation is about beauty standards, especially for women. And we also need to have a conversation about that sleep schedule, girl, because I know it's all over the place.
Which is why I've partnered with Lisa to jumpstart your journey into improving your sleep hygiene. If you are in the market to upgrade your mattress, the Lisa X West Elm Natural Hybrid is the way to go. First and foremost, the mattress is tall, which I love. It's 13 inches exactly, and it just matches my room and my vibes so well. I feel like it just gives my room that little bit of oomph. Like, it just matches. It just goes together very well. It's also firm but pillowy, which is like a dream combo that is very hard to come across, but somehow they did it. It literally has that support, but that cradle. Somehow they managed to do it, okay? And by somehow, I mean that they designed the mattress with layers of latex sourced from natural and organic wool and cotton, and environmentally safe foams, memory foam, and recycled steel. So yeah, she's health conscious and environmentally conscious. Not only is this mattress knockout comfy, but they also ship a majority of their products from my home state, Arizona. I feel like that's so cool to have a mattress that was like made where I'm from. It feels so unique. And they've also donated over 40,000 mattresses since their inception in 2015, which is a lot of mattresses, okay? I love supporting companies like this because not only are they looking out for the environment and our health, but they're also giving back to the community, which is so important, especially right now in this economy. I'm so glad I chose to go with the medium firm mattress. It literally lived up to its name, and I've been sleeping like a baby ever since. You can scan the QR code on the screen and or click the link in my bio and get $75 off of your purchase with my code BossGirlified. Thank you so much to Lisa for partnering with me on today's video, and let's go ahead and get back into it.
The beauty standards in Utah have a notorious reputation. And of course, this is coming from a few different sources, and of course, everything is objective. So, you know, what some people's reality might be growing up might not be everyone's reality in Utah. So basically, just because you grew up in Utah doesn't mean that this beauty standard that people speak of that is very hard to live up to in Utah is applicable to everybody that grew up in Utah. But I did a little bit of Google searching, and based on what I found, the beauty standards in Utah are very distinct, and they emphasize a polished, put-together look, often associated with a blend of high glam and natural elegance. This includes features like bleached blonde hair, year-round tan skin, hair and lash extensions, and perfectly manicured nails.
If you want a crash course on Utah Mormon beauty standards, look no further than the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. First, we have a scene where women discuss getting boob jobs, and one of the main characters in the show also owns a hair extension company that is very popular in Utah. They also all get Botox together, and they discuss how the laughing gas at the Botox is kind of a free pass to getting high, even though they're not even allowed to have coffee as part of the religion. Loophole capital of the world. A lot of people have said that the women look so similar that they have a hard time following the show because they look so similar they can't keep them apart. And I think this is kind of a Utah version of what the Kardashians did to beauty standards using social media, where everyone is getting the same enhancements, and so everyone ends up kind of looking the same.
The pressure to conform to these standards can be particularly intense for young people, especially those involved in activities like gymnastics, cheerleading, and dance.
Ever since I moved to Utah, I have never seen a girl out in public not 100% fully put together. Just feel like it's so exhausting going out, and they have full face of makeup, cute outfit, hair's perfectly curled, like they are 100% put together to a T. It is such a competitive thing for no reason. Everyone has to have long extensions, eyelash extensions, lip filler, the new outfits, everything.
And trust me, you guys, as someone who grew up doing dance and cheer, I'm telling you guys, across the board, this is kind of a tangent, but yeah, especially in those areas, the beauty standards are insane. Like, truly and honestly, it's not easy being a young girl growing up doing things like that. Even sports in some cases, like golfing. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So some of the influences I was able to find on Google include social media, religious influence, corn. And these potential impacts include cosmetic surgery, of course, body image issues, of course, and financial burden. Another one, too, that I've really been wanting to make a video about, which is the financial burden of constantly having to feel like you need to portray this certain look, this certain aesthetic to be a baddie, which if you're not new to the channel, you know I'm all about being a baddie, and I happen to do it on a budget all the time. I do my own hair, I do my own lashes, I do my own nails a lot of the time. The only thing I get done consistently is my nails. I do get my nails done more times than I don't get it done, but I can easily do it myself without complaints. My wax I get done And that's really about it. I do everything else myself. I really don't need to break the bank, but unfortunately, that's how society has a lot of us feeling like we need to be. Let me know if you guys would want to see a video about like how beauty is destroying our pockets. And it doesn't have to. So considering the fact that Vanna is a golfer girl, okay? She says she's been golfing her whole life, right? And I'm not a huge golfer girl. I'm not into the golfing world at all, so I don't know much about the golfing world. But I do know a lot about sports. And the thing that I do know the most about sports is that, especially people who get into it young, it's usually because their parents put them into it, or because they really, really liked it and they had really supportive parents that put them into it because that's what they wanted to do. But 9 times out of 10, it's usually the former. Usually. And if you did sports or if you did like performing arts or anything like that growing up, you definitely knew the type. But usually there was always those couple of parents who were like pageant parents, helicopter parents, who basically were living vicariously through their kids. So they would want their kid to be that perfect version of a dancer or a track star or a softball player that they envision in their heads. We don't know this girl, but based on some other details, it seems like she might not have had the best influences growing up, and who knows, that could have stemmed from many things. But I feel like part of that is probably the pressure of the golfing world in general, for girls especially, because realistically, women always are held to a very unique standard. And like I said, I'm not huge into the golfing world, but I can only imagine the type of videos and stuff and like Pinterest boards and stuff like that that probably glorify a certain type of golfer girl. And especially if you grow up somewhere like Utah that traditionally has a lot of very harsh beauty standards, you can see easily how there would probably be this trope of the golfer girlfriend type of vibe. And you can kind of tell that she probably harbors something deep set in her when it comes to particularly being a golfer girl, because that's a lot of the content that she posts. It's about like making sure that I learn how to golf and, you know, knowing how to golf. So like I'm always at my boyfriend's games and like things of the sort. It's just an interesting observation. That's just my little theory, so don't run to the moon and back with it. But it is just a very interesting observation. And let's touch on the probably most, not damning, but the most interesting piece of information about the work that Vanna has gotten done, which is that she started getting her work done at around 16. Yeah, guys, around 16, or at least that's estimates, because, you know, she's been active on TikTok, and you can definitely scroll back and see some TikToks from like 2020, 2022, and she's increasingly getting more and more filler to her face. And I believe in 2020 you can start to see the filler that she starts getting done, and 2020 was 5 years ago. So yeah, that would make her 16. So that is pretty concerning. And then also there have been, you know, there have been yearbook pictures of her that have come out recently, and you can see that, you know, her 3rd yearbook picture, she got filler done, right? And it was pretty drastic. So that alone is very telling of many things. First of all, you have to get consent at a young age like that to get work done. That's very telling of the environment that she likely grew up in. Now, this is not to excuse anything, because, you know, there are plenty of people who are subject to harsh beauty standards that don't cave into them like that. However, this is a huge red flag, and this is very telling of the relationship she has with herself, with her family, with her parents, and the environment that she likely grew up in. God, I love this look, y'all. Like, I've been like slowly but surely perfecting my summer look, and I think I've been taking some inspiration from the Love Island girlies, especially Coco, y'all. When I tell you guys, I was watching Coco like a hawk doing her makeup, because that girl's technique is out of here. Literally, like, she's a makeup artist, first of all, so that already had me tuned in. Second of all, I mean, face card ain't never declined, all right? And third of all, her makeup every single episode, ate down severely. So yeah, definitely take notes, because these I'm definitely implementing a couple of techniques I saw Miss Coco implementing. Okay. And for some reason, when I think about Vanna, even though I haven't seen much of her, and I'm only going off of like TikToks and stuff, and like the few interactions she had on Love Island, she kind of reminds me of like a kid of pageant parents. Like, it really does remind me of that dynamic for some reason. Like, I don't know. I think that's my intuition working, but I have a sneaking suspicion that she was either surrounded by people like that or had parents like that herself. But then again, you know, I'm not trying to like, this is not me saying that her parents did anything wrong, because I don't know them at the end of the day. That would be incredibly unfair to put that on them, because imagine they're like the most amazing parents ever, but just it's very telling when you have little signs like this that, like, you know, someone's getting work done when they're 16, that like maybe she didn't have the best environment growing up. And I'm not necessarily against people getting work done, but I think definitely before you do, you should be a certain age to know that that's what you want to do, and to kind of grow into your features a little bit and know, okay, and have it come from a place too of appreciation of your features and just enhancing them. It shouldn't be like completely altering your face. And when you're to the point where you're that overfilled, it's like you're definitely in a state of constantly trying to like overdo it. Overall, in society, the moral of the story is that there is a pressure on women to fit a certain standard of beauty. We all know this, right? And yes, we all say that we want to see more representation of natural beauty. We want to see more diversity. We want to see unique looks again, like in the 90s, right? But when we actually see that, we only really uplift a specific style of that natural beauty. Or if it's not that, then we call people chopped, or we bully people, or we say that they're mid, and so on and so forth. A perfect example of this is Glorilla. A lot of people, when she came on the scene, were telling her that she needs to get a nose job and all of this other stuff, and that she's ugly and blase, right? A lot of people were saying this, you know, and it takes a specific type of thick-skinned person to not let that get to them. And then Glorilla caves and gets her nose done, right? And then people are like, oh my goodness.
This new nose trend, I am so disappointed in Gorilla. I really like Gorilla, okay? I don't listen to her music. But I like that she like a down-home girl, really real. She talk how she talk. I love that. But why did you touch your nose?
That is the most blatant example of that harsh standard of beauty playing out into reality. I mean, look at the people that typically go viral on TikTok just for their looks. They all fit a certain, not all, I would say a majority of them fit a certain mold of beauty, a certain standard of beauty. And you guys, I've always said this too. It's our, like, we are the reason, us consumers are the reason that videos go viral. We engage with the content. We engage more with people who we deem the standard of beauty. And it's just really sad also how comfortable a lot of people have gotten with bullying people on the internet.
It's become like dangerously common how much people are bullying people for being ugly or not conventionally attractive or just ugly to them. And it's like, the selection is crazy. Like, the people are bullying Sydney Sweeney for being ugly on Twitter. What? She literally came out with a whole video crying about it. And then Dabo the streamer. Like, I know he's not conventionally attractive, but like the hate towards him is like really bad. Like, it's really foul. Like, it's more foul than normal. That girl from You in season 5, people at first it was kind of funny because I see the resemblance between her and Rumpelstiltskin. But then you go into the comments and it's like, oh my gosh, she's so ugly. She's so hideous. I couldn't even watch the show. You couldn't watch the show because of a girl who's probably on the same level as you? How does that make sense? And it's like, y'all are saying this stuff about everyday people. Like, you're not like, these people did not come into the industry to be Victoria's Secret runway models. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are regular people. They're actors, streamers, content creators, even people who aren't even like trying to be on the internet like that. Like, they just posted a video and y'all are expecting these people to be full 10 out of 10s. Like, these out of the world creatures. No, that's not a comment. That's not reality. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to me because most of the people talking shit, they're ugly. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? There's so many more examples, but yeah, it's just become really, really bad. And obviously I think it's because of the advancement of like social media and everything, and like plastic surgery, and everyone expecting people to look like these perfect beings, especially when it comes to women and women's bodies. Everyone, like, oh my God, it's so bad. Like, everyone is expecting a woman's body to be top tier. Oh my God. Get a hold of reality. For real, like, get the fuck off your phone.
That's a whole nother conversation that could be had in its own entire video, but it's just really sad overall. So yeah, guys, like, usually the people who go viral, they usually fit a certain type of aesthetic. We as a society continuously say that we want natural beauty, but that natural beauty fits a certain look. It is a certain look, and if it's outside of that, they just won't get the same level of praise, the same level of attention. And unfortunately, attention is a currency nowadays, and people know that. And, you know, a lot of people are already deeply insecure, for example, because of their environment that they probably grew up in, like Vanna, for example. And the thing is, the girl was gorgeous before she got anything done, right? And even the little bit of filler, girl, she could have stopped there easily, you know? But because of the pressure, and because she felt like she wouldn't be good enough unless she fit that exact aesthetic, she felt the pressure to go and get all of this stuff done to herself. Guys, it is so hot in my room. I'm literally sweating because I have to turn the AC off because it sounds like a friggin' missile. What I appreciate so much about society is that we are all unique, and it tells a lot about our background, right? So for example, my nose and my features and everything, regardless of the little bit of filler I got in my lips, looks like my family. It looks like my bloodline. It looks like the people that I came from. It looks like my ancestors. I love seeing people embrace their natural features and not cave into the pressures of society. And if they do a little bit, if they do feel a little bit more confident doing this, doing that, they still stay true to their original features. They don't try to completely change themselves into a completely different person. I just want us to embrace the unique noses, the ethnic noses. Like, speaking of which, this is kind of a tangent, but one of the noses I love so much that is so like underappreciated in society for me is like the Roman nose and like the African nose. Like, I love, like, especially I forgot what exactly that nose is called. I think I kind of have it too. It's so cute. Like, it gives like a doll. Literally, it gives doll vibes. And same with like the Roman nose. I literally love how like classic that nose is and how strong it is genetically. And like, it's so sad to see that society wants us to all have the upturned nose, the upturned small pointed nose. Like, that nose does not fit every face, and that is okay. Why do we all want to be the same person at the end of the day? You know, because of these standards of beauty, because of what we collectively as a society have put on a pedestal. We as a society have to collectively come together and choose to change the standard of beauty, and it's doable. The minute that, you know, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about when I say this too, there are some women, a lot of women out there, right, that don't have the conventional standard of beauty, or whatever the case may be, whatever the written textbook definition of beautiful is, but they are still so effing pretty, like, you undeniably gorgeous, that still go viral, you know what I mean? Like, they still do their thing. You still see them pop up on your For You page. Do you see them as frequently as you see the copy paste standard of beauty girlies? Probably not. But they are still the most gorgeous, drop dead, like, undeniable people ever, because they have embraced their features. And therefore, society had to fall in line. And that's really all it is, because the standard of beauty was made up by a couple of people that agreed, yeah, this is beautiful. And then everyone else fell into line. What is stopping us from doing the same thing, just in a different font? Just in embracing that there are different fonts of us, and that we can accept the beauty within each and every single one of us. And I think to a certain point we have done that. We've made some progress in that front, but we've also like kind of, because of social media and filters and editing and poses and stuff, we have completely altered what beautiful should look like. Which makes the whole Vanna situation sadder, because she was gorgeous before she did anything. And she is very clearly very talented in golfing, I will say. Like, she really does inspire me a lot, because I'm like, damn girl, you're a pretty girl and you golf? Like, for real. She golfs for real, y'all. It's just one of those situations where I wish that she had people around her to affirm that to her. Too, maybe she did, but for some reason or another, maybe there was just that one comment that stuck with her for the rest of her life that led her to make the decisions that she did, which is why we, again, have to be really careful with how we talk about people.
I'm gonna make this video and try not to cry because I am an empath, so I might be crying. I've been friends with Vanna for 5 years, and I wanted to say something because Vanna is one of my favorite people. She's so nice to every single person she meets. She's so genuine. She's so confident. She loves herself. She loves her style. She loves her appearance, and she loves everybody else's as well. She would never make fun of anyone else's look. She's the least judgmental person. Me and my friends are always like, Vanna's like our little Bratz doll. Like, she's just a cute little Bratz doll. She's the girl who you go to her house and she's helping you with your outfit, and she's letting you borrow her clothes, and she's letting you borrow all her makeup. She's the most thoughtful person ever. And watching her get dragged on the internet is the worst thing ever. This woman has a heart of gold, and it's so crazy to me that going on reality TV or having a following just validates people to bully them. Facetune posted about her, like, these big ass companies are posting making fun of a 21-year-old girl for her appearance. If someone is confident and loves themselves, then let them. It doesn't matter if you don't think they shouldn't look like that. So I just want the internet to know that Vanna has a heart of gold. Vanna is so confident. I don't want anyone to crush her confidence. I don't want anyone to tell her that she shouldn't look like how she does or dress like how she does, because she's perfect exactly how she is, and everyone needs to stop tearing people apart.
It also makes me wish that society would stand on business and to make it clock to them that we are responsible for the beauty standard. We can choose as a society to collectively agree, you know what, F this. We are going to start embracing natural beauty, and I really do hope we start to shift towards that direction in the near future. But it also does give me hope, because I really do hope that, you know, at the same time, I really do hope that Vanna has good people around her that are helping her transition back into the real world. But at the same time, I really do hope that she takes heed to the criticism and doesn't let it get her down too bad. And I hope that she realizes, okay, maybe people are onto something. Maybe a lot of people are seeing something that I'm not seeing. And maybe, you know, maybe it's time for me to go get some of this dissolved, you know? This is my first setting spray, because I like to do 2 setting sprays. That way I can get that good shine and also have it stay in place. So I use the Fix All Day because this makes my makeup look more like skin and it gives it that dewy finish, but the one size keeps it in all freaking day. Best combo. Well, that is as much of this conversation as I could get into while I was doing my makeup. This is one of those conversations that there are so many moving parts to, so many elements to, so many things that you could talk about. So let's definitely continue this conversation in the comments down below. I'm really excited to see what you girlies have to say. And yeah, guys, do you guys like the makeup look? How do we feel? Anyways, girlies, it has been your girl Tima, and I'll see you on another video soon. Bye, girls.